what they gave me was the incentive to be good. You try to be your best. You never give up, no matter what the competition is. You give it your all.
That's what made the first Korean American Chief Justice in history, I guess.
Yes, yes.
오아후 섬은 하와이 정치, 경제, 문화의 중심지입니다. 하와이 주요 섬 중 인구도 여행자 수도 가장 많습니다. 오아후를 찾는 여행자들의 발길은 보통 와이키키를 향하는데요. 세계 최고의 휴양지이기 때문이죠. 물론 좀 더 모험심이 있는 여행자들은 와이키키를 벗어나 오아후의 숨은 아름다움을 찾아 나서기도 합니다. 하지만 외진 동네 와히아와를 일부러 찾는 이들은 별로 없습니다. 1920년대 와히아와는 수백여 명의 한국인이 모여 살던 이른바 한인타운이었습니다. 당시 태평양 연안에서 가장 큰 군부대가 이곳에 있어서 와히아와의 한인들은 이들 군인들을 상대로 세탁소나 수선점 같은 가게를 운영했는데요. 1세대 한인 이민자인 문정헌 씨도 그중 한 명으로 사탕수수 노동자 계약이 끝나고 그는 곧 와히아와에 자그마한 양복점을 차렸습니다. 100여 년 전 바로 이 양복점 2층에서 문정헌 씨와 그의 부인은 아들을 낳아 키웠습니다. 그리고 그 아들의 아들은 장차 하와이 그리고 미주 최초이자 유일한 한국인 대법원장이 됩니다. 1990년 49의 나이에 대법관에 임명되고 3년 만에 대법원장직에 오른 이래 이른해 정년 퇴임할 때까지 하와이 사법부에서 활약한 문대양 전 대법원장의 업적을 기려 하와이 주정부는 2010년에 신축된 한 지방법원 청사의 이름을 로널드 문 법원으로 명명했습니다. 문 전 대법원장과 함께 15년 가까이 일한 마크 렉터널드 하와이 주 대법원장은 문대양 전 대법원장을 이렇게 기억합니다.
He was somebody who really cared passionately about access to justice, so he wanted the courts to be accessible to everyone and really just energized our efforts to reach out to the community, get lawyers to volunteer, get folks to contribute to support legal services so people who can't afford a lawyer in a civil case have their voices heard in court.
My name is Ronald Moon and was raised in Waihawa. I believe that the most important thing in life is the contribution to the society.
Over the past few years, I've seen you on a podium always giving speeches on various functions. And today I'm able to have a talk with you. That's really an honor for me. The first Korean American Chief Justice in history, what did it mean to you?
Well, what it meant to me was I tried my best, I did my best, and I was appointed Hawaii's Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which made me individually proud, but hopefully I believe that the Koreans would be as proud.
Can you tell us about the first generation of Koreans of your family?
Yeah, the first generations were my grandparents on both sides. My grandfathers left Korea for a destination unknown at that time, but ended up in Hawaii in August of 1903.
1903. Oh, they're one of the earliest people who came then.
So both my grandfathers came to Hawaii, not knowing each other.
I see. When they first came, they worked as a plantation worker. Do you know?
Yes, they did. My father's side worked in Honoka, like I said, in the plantations, and then moved to Oahu and settled in the Waihawa area and worked in the fields. My grandfather was here, and he had said that he would be making a livelihood for himself and for his bride and the family when he brought them over. And it took him about 19 years to come over.
So they were married already in Korea.
Yeah.
And then he came here by himself first.
And he had an older daughter, and then he had my daughter, my mother, when he got here.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's
He
amazing.
impregnated my.
Already daughter, yeah. Oh, that's a great story. Can you tell us about your grandmother? You spent a lot of time with her.
Well, she raised me because my mom was very busy helping my father at the store that they had. They had a store, Duke's, in Waihawa, and so she raised me or helped raise me, and I could speak Korean very well at that time.
Oh.
But I lost it.
Until what age?
I think I spoke Korean during the adolescent years of my life.
Oh, wow.
And then lost it because I never used it.
How was she? Was she strict or was she loving, or what do you remember about her?
She was very protective, and she was very caring and very affectionate, very protective. My father was strict, and it blossomed, I think, and it was contagious and got to my mother, and so she was very strict with us. And so she used to try to spank us at times when we were out of hand, and my grandmother would step in and protect us.
That's sweet.
Physically.
Yeah. Hit me instead of runner, right? Something like that. Oh, that's sweet. And how did they do the tailor shop?
My grandfather, on my father's side, he was a tailor, and he owned the tailor shop.
He was a tailor even before he came to Hawaii, or do you know?
It seems so.
It seems
so.
He was good with his hands, all that.
Well, he was good with the machine that they had. They had an old Singer machine that came from, he's from North Korea. And he and his brothers escaped to South Korea way back when, I'm not sure when, but he actually carried the Singer sewing machine. My father inherited the tailor shop on California Avenue. Oh my goodness. That's when my sister, my youngest brother Duke, Junior, Eric, Marilee, my sister, and me.
Oh, everyone is good looking. Seriously, it's a little Korean drama family character. Do you know if he was involved with any Korean organization?
Yeah, my father was very involved with the church. The church was the headquarters for collecting clothing and food products to send to Korea. Yeah, and they were always fighting for their independence as well.
So it was not just a religious, group of people.
No,
It's just- it's all-
the church was very central to the Koreans' activities in fighting for independence, sending goods to Korea to help the situation there. This was founded in 1919 by a group of Koreans led by Dr. Sigmund Rhee. Now, before I sit down, I would like to lead you in a cheer that I learned in August of 1945 when the church, the old church on 갤릭호에 Street, gathered together after the Second World War in August of 1948. And I was 5 years old at the time, and I heard for the first time that I can recall what I believe is a national cheer, which is what's safe. The fondest memory I have is every weekend my father would drive around the islands.
Ron's dad, Duke, would actually come and pick us up. You know, he would come down the street, drive and pick us up in the evening and bring us to church. He would take us even into Honolulu in Smitty's laundry truck. And the bad boys would, every time we made a turn, they would jump on us and scramble us up in the back seat of the truck. So we had a lot of fun in those days. You remember, Ronald? Yeah.
Our friends started from this church. I mean, we remained friends all these years. Even if we don't see each other, we feel like we've never missed a day. And our parents were friends. Our generation are friends, and hopefully our children will continue to be friends.
My father was a very gifted, and he gave a lot to the church and to the community. His door was always open to the store where they would come in and he would translate letters or notices from the government or, you know.
Oh, so he was already doing the free legal service.
Yes. He was.
He was really a leader and made Hawaii a national leader in having a vibrant program of court interpreters who could interpret for the court and for participants who weren't English speakers as their first language. Huge contribution. Again, really reflects, I think, him never forgetting his roots, him always understanding what it meant, you know, to be somebody who might be on the outside looking in and wanting to have everybody be part of who we are, everyone to feel valued, everyone to have their voice heard.
Looking back 30 plus years of, you know, your service as a judge, what are the most memorable moments you have?
I think I got Koreans to understand that the law is the law, and the law is for everybody. It's just not for them and not for others. One case that really reminds me, it was the temple that went up in the Palolo area.
The 무량사.
And there was an ordinance at that time that the level was supposed to be so high, and yet they went higher with the temple. And we had to force them to cut it down at their cost and expense, which hurt. I think Koreans learned at that time that you know, just because they had a Korean judge or a justice or whatever at the time, that they would have special treatment, but they didn't. They learned that the law was the law for everyone.
But there's a one saying that I will always remember from your speech. Public service is a rent one pays for the space he or she occupies here on earth.
You know, my father's position was that public service is the rent that you pay for occupying space here on earth. And he paid a lot of rent.
And let me also ask you, I see so many news these days about anti-Asian hate crime. What do you think we should do to try to mend this?
The way you remedy any crime is to prosecute that offense. You have to apply the law evenly. It's not this is anti-Asian, and so you give them a break.
Oh, I see.
You have to apply it evenly.
And what's the one thing that you hope others will remember about you?
I hope they remember me by following the law, that I followed the law and I made people follow the law.
What did you learn from your father or your grandfather or your grandmother that you want to pass on to the next generation?
What they gave me was the incentive to be good. You try to be your best. You never give up, no matter what the competition is. You give it your all.
That's what made the first Korean American Chief Justice in history, I guess.
Yes, yes.
What is your biggest fear in life?
The biggest fear is to live your life and not contribute. I feel that way. You have to contribute something to your society that you live in.
One thing I think is really important about Chief Justice Moon is his role as a mentor to people. So he took a very active role in helping folks who had just become judges or new lawyers understand what it meant to be a professional, understand what it takes to excel in the profession, and to have integrity and honor in how they approach their profession. And he did that for me. And so, to me, he's been somebody I've looked up to since I first began serving in the judiciary in 2007. And then since I become Chief Justice, he's just been, an invaluable source of support, of guidance, and encouragement.
If you live your life and you cannot point to anything that you left behind. That is so sad. That's what I mean about leaving something. You gotta live your life.